Welcome to SP Union High School and Junior College. Now we are going to discuss about the class. Class is one of the concept of the object oriented programming. When the programming thinks about and defines the attributes and the behavior of the object. Often the objects are modeled after real world entities. Okay, very different approach than function based programming. As object, it is a concept of the C++ programming. Object oriented programming encapsulates data, that is the attributes, and functions, that is the behavior, into packages called classes. So what is a class? It consists of the data and the member function. So classes are user defined, that is it is defined by the programmer. User defined type, data, that is the data members, and the functions, that is the member functions or methods. In other words, they are structures plus functions. So what is a class? We can say that it is a user defined. Class is an encapsulation of data and coding. Classes are expanded version of the structures. Okay, we can say that it is the expanded version of the structures. Structure can only contain multiple variables. Classes can contain multiple variables. Even more classes can also contain functions as class members. Variables declared in class are called as data members. Okay, so whatever the variable we declared in a class, now we can say those variable as the data members, that is the attributes. And functions declared or defined in a class are called as a member function, that is the behavior. Now what is a class? As I said, class is a user defined data type. Why it is a user defined data type? Because it is defined by the programmer. The instance of a class are called as a object. So objects are created. That's, we can say that these are the instances of the class. Class is a place where we can define the properties and functionalities of an object. So whatever the properties and function, that is the attributes and behavior of objects, that is the data members and the member function, and those are defined inside the class. Class, we can say that it is a blueprint which is containing only list of variables and methods, and no memory is allocated for them. A class is a group of objects that has common properties. Okay, so object is instance of the class, and that class consists of the data members and the member function. So we can say that it's a group of objects, as we can create number of objects of the same class. A class in C++ contains following properties. First, data members. Second, method. Third, constructor. Fourth, block. And fifth, class and interface. So class contains data members, that is the variable, methods, that is the function. We can create the constructor. It is a block, that is body, and the class and interface. So these are the contains, or the class consists of following. How to declare the class? Declaration of the class of must start with the keyword class. So class is the keyword which is followed by the name of the class, and class members are declared within the braces, that is the brackets. So what is the syntax of declaring class? Here class is the name keyword, then class name, it is the name of the class, and in the body, that is the in bracket or the braces, this is the opening bracket and this is the closing bracket. Inside this we can write some data and some functions of that class. Now example of declaring the class. Suppose class employee, in which class is the keyword and employee is the name of the class. In the opening bracket and the closing bracket, this is the block of the class. In private access specifier, we declare the char name 25, that is the declaration of the array variable, int age, and the long salary. So these are the data members of the class which declare under the private section. Private, public in this program or the class, these are the access specifier that we are going to learn in detail afterwards. Now in a public section we declare void get data and the function brackets semicolon, void put data function bracket and the semicolon. So these are the data member functions or the functions of the class. So this is the simple way how we can write the class or the example of declaring the class. Now see, class employee. So private member can name 25 int age long salary, and the public void get data and void put data. So this part comes under the opening of the bracket and the closing of the bracket, and this part is called as a body of the class. In class employee, here class is the keyword for the class employee. So this is the way of declaring the class. In this example, class, as we saw, it is a keyword. After that employee, it is the name of the class, and then it is the body of the class. Now see, after the keyword and the name of the class, we are going to see the access specifiers. These are the private and the public. So private and the public, these are the access specifier which will display or which will give that the accessibility of that variables and the functions. So whatever the data members are there, that we declare under the private access specifier, and whatever the functions are there, that is the get data and the put data, that we declared under the public access specifier. Now see, after the writing the class keyword and the name of the class, here we write the starting, that is a bracket, and here the closing bracket. So when we start or write the starting bracket, it's starting the scope of the class, and here it end the scope of the class, in which we write the body of the class. Object-oriented programming encapsulates data, that is the attributes, and functions, that is the behavior, into packages called classes. So what is a class? It consists of the data and the member function. So classes are, now here it is a public access specifier, in which we declare these two functions, void get data and void put data. Means these functions can access publicly. So what is the publicly? Means it can access anywhere outside of the class also. Now employee, private, care, name 25, age and the salary under the private, and these are the public member functions of the class which declare under the public section. Class, we can say that it is a blueprint which is containing only list of variables and methods, and no memory is allocated for them. A class is a group of objects that has common properties. Okay, so object is instance of the class, and that class consists of the data members and the member function. So we can say that it's a group of objects. Now when we write the program and finishes, we compile the program. So this is the compile view of the program. So what is the compilation? There are the two major function of the compilation. First, it will find out the error, and second one, it will create the executable file. So here the numbers comes, that is for each and every line there are the numbers, and if there is a error, it will show the error at that particular point. So it is the compiler view of C++ program when you do the compilation. Now see, this is another one more example of declaring the class. Here we declare the class temp, open the brackets. In private section we declare the two variable, int data1, float data2, two types of the variable declaration. In public section we declare the void function1, that is the first function. Then inside of that function 1 body, we write data1 is equals to 2. Then close the function. Then we declare the second function float function 2. In that body we have written data2 is equals to 3.5 and return the data. So this declare under the public section. As mentioned, definition of class start with the keyword class. It followed by the name of the class. So here name of the class is temp. The body of that class is inside the curly brackets and terminated by the semicolon at the end. So body starts with the opening of the curly bracket and end with the closing of the curly bracket. There are two keywords, private and the public, mentioned inside the body of the class. This class also contains two private data members and two public member functions. So data members declared under the private section, that is the two, data 1 and the data 2, and two functions we declared under the public, that is the function 1 and the function 2. So this is the one more example of the class. Now see the example. Here class employee is created. Class is the keyword, employee is the name of the class. Then opening curly brackets. In public section we declare the int salary, that is the data member, and one function void sal, that is the member function. In sal function we declare, that is opening of the curly bracket and closing of the curly bracket. So this is the body of the sal function. Here C out enter salary, C in salary, that is we are taking the salary from the user and reading that salary, and here we displaying that salary. Okay, closing the function body and closing the class, that is scope start here of the class and the scope start ends here of the class. Now we writing the main function. It is the main function of the class. Each and every C++ program consists of the main function. When you compile the program, the control comes to the main function and your compilation start, that is control first come to the main function. Now in a main function employee E, that is creating an object of the employee. So employee is the name of the class and E is the object. Now E dot sal, that is by using this E object we are accessing the sal function by using the dot operator, and here closing of the bracket for the main function. Class, we can say that it is a blueprint which is containing only list of variables and methods, and no memory is allocated for them. A class is a group of objects that has common properties. Okay, so object is instance of the class, and that class consists of the data members and the member function. So we can say that it's a group of objects, as we can create number of objects of the same class. So just we have seen the overview of the class, what is the class, how to declare the class, how to write the class, how to create the object from the class, execution of the program and the output. So this is about the class. Thank you.